to it. Just checking this shit out. Up 17.5% so far. All of it came recently here.
I think it's time to blow this
GameStop as well.
Get everybody in the stuff together.
AMC is trading up to $41 right now. Today's the last day of the fiscal year. These shorts got to close this shit out. We got to roll them over. Check it out. That's what all this is right here. All these massive volume candles. Look at that. That's fantastic. What's up, Larry, Marco, Floyd, Dan, Wappi? What's up, everybody? Timmy? It's good to see you, Caden. Thanks very much. Florida, Michelle. Yeah, what's going on? Look at what we got here. GameStop is up about 3.5% right now. Trading at 180.
You're an original, aren't you?
Cowboy.
I think it's time to blow this thing. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1,
Let's go. 13.5%. There go all the losses. 14.87%. Holy shit. We're almost at $41 right now. Wow. $41.10, baby. We have crossed the threshold. Let's keep it going. Up 15% on GameStop, AMC, excuse me. Fucking love it. This is why I don't give a shit about those days when we're down 2, 3, or 8%. Because next thing you know, these assholes got to come over here and close all this shit out. Like this. It's all mental warfare for them. Don't fall for their bullshit. What's up, Hayden? Thanks for coming, brother. Casey, let's fucking go. We're going to be so fucking rich. Holy shit. Look at this. Wow, 41.50. Here we go. I'm fucking hyped. Are you kidding me? Woo! Spent another grand on options today. Felt great. What a great fucking day to buy some goddamn options.
aren't you?
Hell yeah. I had to average down because I bought some a few weeks ago. So, averaging down, baby. Because if you give yourself enough time, you can also average down options. What's up, Annie? Hi, everybody. Arthur, thanks so much for coming out, dudes. I understand what you mean. I keep cash on hand at all times just in case I need to make a quick deposit. Look at this. What do we got? 16% up for the day. 41.30. Let's go to the 2-minute bar. It's up almost 19% for the day. Showing here 14.69. Sorry, I'm seeing a little discrepancy here. Pull up my other IBKR. My actual platform, trading app, not just the website. I knew it was going to be today. Like, today's the last day of the fiscal year for the market and the government. So the October 1st, tomorrow, is the first day of the fiscal quarter and the fiscal year for this following year. What's up, Timmy? Smoke Champion? What's up, Saab? Somebody call Kramer. Somebody call Ken Griffin, ask him how many millions they're losing today. Oh man, it's gonna be a lot. Hell yeah. Love it. Thanks, Tank. Thanks to Seatbelts. You guys are awesome. For those of you that are unaware, that song is by the Seatbelts. It is a fantastic song. I did remix it, but whatever. Who cares about that? What's up, Ray and Jacob? How you guys doing? Look at this. 40.77. Are we going to get shorted down now? Let's see. We're using 15-second bars at the moment just to scope it out. What's up, Glizzy? It's good to see you guys. Sorry about that. What's up, Rome? I don't want to overplay it. I don't want to overplay the song. Let's see. We're still at 40-10, up 12, 13%. Zoom out of this thing.
You told me once to forget the past.
Oh man, we're gonna be so fucking rich. Holy shit. They're gonna try to bring this price down again, so it is gonna drop. They're gonna short it down, but that's okay. We all know what happens.
But nothing good came of it.
We all know what happens. The shorts haven't covered. They gotta roll their positions. That's why we see these ridiculous prices sometimes and stupid run-ups. Even old Yeller, Janet Yellen, told us that financial runs were gonna happen, you know? She literally said it. 1 second, I'm switching over to the actual app here. I'll give you guys some Ortex data real quick though while we're switching over. Damn, Chad. Thank you so much, Champion Chad, for your donation, brother. You are awesome. Let's go! Bananas in the sky. We're going in dry. That's great, Chad.
What are you going to do? Just throw your life away like it was
funny.
nothing?
I'm not going there to die.
In case you guys are wondering, this is Cowboy Bebop Lo-Fi Hip Hop playlist by Ambition on Spotify. The song's called You're Gonna Carry That Weight by Cormac. Champion again. Chad, thanks again for your support, brother. You are awesome. I know you're always there supporting the channel and us, so thank you very much. Appreciate everything. Marco says, I'm going to buy Kenny G a lifetime supply of soap on a rope. That's great. Damn, look at that short interest for AMC. The days to cover is getting higher and higher. It's getting out of hand. I do got to run out in like 5 minutes here and pick up my kids from school, but it's right down the block here, so that won't take long. I just wanted to get this up going because I like the price action. It's exciting. Look at that exchange reported short interest.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
just a dream.
Look at this days to cover. Look at that. Higher and higher. Don't worry, I'll have the price action for AMC and GameStop back up here in a second. It's just loading up. What's up, Floyd? Thank you for showing out all the way from Stockholm, brother. That is intense.
Just a dream.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate you, brother. I guess I can't help it. I can't help but care. Martin, I don't think that MJ is far from legalization, brother. I think marijuana is very close around the corner. The federal government, United States government, needs our tax dollars. They need our tax dollars, without a doubt. Oh, good. Here we go. The S&P 500, following a brief spike to afternoon highs, has come back and down and now sits a little changed in the last half hour. The S&P 500 constituents such as Paychex, Xilinx, and Willis were dotting the top of the standings, but that was before AMC had a 18% run, and currently we are getting down a little bit. However, it is still up almost 12% for the day. Here we go. We got interactive brokers going here. And for those of you that are unfamiliar, my partners and I have created a new company called Lit Exchange. It is going to be the world's first trading app and website program that allows you to invest and trade on lit exchanges only. There will be zero access to dark pools. There will be zero payment for order flow, 100% transparency, low commissions, crypto exchange trading, crypto wallets available. You guys are going to love this. And a founders program is coming. You guys are going to love this. It's all getting worked out right now. Our attorneys are rocking the shit out of it as we speak. Lit Exchange, based out of Delaware. Why? Because Delaware fucking rocks for businesses. But yeah, I am in Chicago, Illinois myself. So yeah, look for it. You're gonna see a lot of more news coming out about it. Lit Exchange. It's going to be a little while before it's online, Ray Perez, because it takes about 180 days for FINRA to finish reviewing our application. But we're out there. We're working with SEC. We're working with FINRA, and we are going to get this fucking broker-dealer. We're going to be a broker-dealer. We're going to have another company. We're going to be a market maker. We are going to fucking challenge Citadel and Virtue for a good portion of that goddamn market share. And we are not going to allow the manipulation that's currently happening. Fuck these dark pools. We're at 39.35 on AMC at the moment on the 1-minute bars, and she's looking very healthy. Look at that. All this low volume, this was super suppressed on purpose. The entire last 2 weeks, they've been shutting these stocks down because they know that they've got to roll this shit eventually. And here we go. The last day of the fiscal year, September 30th, 2021. What's up, David? AJ, LWS? And so that's right, I do live in the suburbs. Because living in downtown Chicago and living in the city of Chicago, to each his own, man. But that's the last fucking place I want to live. I don't want to live in the city anymore. I've been there, done that. I've rented and sold apartments in every single high-rise in downtown Chicago. I'm good on that life. I prefer my land. I like my space. And less traffic. That's for damn sure. Not to mention, fuck Cook County taxes. Cook County taxes are ridiculous. As you can see, they've been pretty heavily shorted here since we were at the high of just over 41.70 or so, and we're currently trading around 39.15 on the 1-minute bars. Let's take a look at the implied volatility. The last time we had super high volatility was back in the December. Back in December, and then a little bit later. Sorry, this is June. My apologies. We're looking at the December 17th strike right there. So we've got strike prices for January of 2023, July of 2022, December of 2021. Let's take a look at this on a 1-month time frame. Look, all right, everything was down, and look what happened today. See that yesterday, they were down a few, and we were up at 10%. Fantastic. The implied volatility is shooting through. I will be back in a few minutes, my friends. Where's Old Yeller? That's a good point. Where is Old Yeller? I'll be back in about 10 minutes. I'm going to go pick up my kid from school real quick. If you guys want to hang out, you're free to hang out and chat. I will see you guys in about 10 or 15 minutes. I'll be right back. I'm going to leave this up in case anybody wants to keep an eye on the price action. It's currently going strong at 38.86, up about 9.5%. We should be seeing a good amount of, red bars here. Diamond hands, baby. I'll be right back, guys. Thanks for your support. Be right back in a few minutes. If you can, drop a like for me. I'll be back in about 10 or 15 minutes max. We are still up 10% for the day on AMC. Hell yeah. We're going to be so goddamn fucking rich.
listen, Jet.
This guy's a major player in the syndicate. Operates all around the asteroids.
You said bell peppers and beef.
Name's Asimov Sullivan. Are you listening to me?
There's no beef in there. So you wouldn't really call it bell peppers and beef, now would you?
Yes, I would.
Well, it's not!
It is when you're broke, all right?
What happened to the million Wulong reward we got for that last guy?
The repair bill for that cruiser you wrecked, and the one from that shop you trashed, and the medical bill from the cop you injured.
What's up, Ape Nation? Looking at 38.93, still up around 9.5% for the day for AMC. Looking pretty strong. Let's take a look at good friend GameStop. We're up about 2.87%, no, 1.74% for the day so far. It's been pretty heavily shorted over the last couple minutes. What's up, Nicole, Gavin, JM, AJ? Thanks so much. Excuse me a second. Got some partners on the line. Got some trade exchange shit to discuss.
Bad mother. Bad mother.
Listen, Jet.
This guy's a major player in the syndicate. Operates all around the asteroids.
You said bell peppers and beef.
Name's Asimov Sullivan. Are you listening to me?
There's no beef in there. So you wouldn't really call it bell peppers and beef now, would you?
Yes, I would.
Well, it's not!
It is when you're broke, all right?
What happened to the million oolong reward we got for that last guy?
The repair bill for that cruiser you wrecked, and the one from that shop you trashed, and the medical bill from the cop you injured.
Real quick, just want to drop a line that AMC is oversold.
shit.
You told me once to forget the past, because it doesn't matter. But nothing good came of it. There was no place for me to return to. This was the only place I could go. And now you're leaving just like that. Why do you have to go? Where are you going? What are you going to do? Just throw your life away like it was nothing?
I'm not going there to die. I'm going to find out if I'm really alive.
Bad mother.
Damn, Pam the trader. Jeez, you are too kind, hon. Can you please stop donating? Thank you so much for your super generous donation of $50. You are incredible, Pam. Thank you so much. I appreciate the heck out of you. You donate so much more of your time being here, moderating for us. God, I love you to death, but please stop donating. You are awesome. You are so cool. Thank you. Pam says, I ain't no paper-handed bitch. That's right. Diamond hands. Pam's drinking margaritas right now. Let's fucking go, Pam. That's what I'm talking about. I go for a margarita instead I'm over here drinking coffee like a loser. Just kidding. Look at that. What a crazy little curve here we've got going, huh? Wow. Man, that algo's going nuts right now. It's at $39, and we still got about another 23 minutes left in the trading day. So it should be pretty interesting here. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't think any of us do. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another beautiful run up like that. We're up almost 18% for the day at one point here. And all this here is shorting. All of these red bars, these 1 minute bars, are heavy candles of shorting and selling pressure. They're losing millions and millions of dollars today. This is beautiful. What's up, Blue, Paladin, Marcy, everybody, Marco? Just so everybody knows, this is a little bit of a preliminary stream right now. I'm just kind of going over some market data, watching Power Hour, checking out the Ortex details. And a little bit later on today, later on this evening, I'm going to do another live stream. We're going to do a interactive Twitter space call / Discord live stream / YouTube live stream. We're going to have hundreds, maybe thousands of people on multiple avenues. We're going to have a Twitter space call running at the same time as a YouTube live chat. We're all going to be able to interact, ask questions, and we are going to discuss Ken Griffin's most recent flight paths and where the fuck he really went, because we figured it out. We know where the fuck Ken Griffin went. He didn't go to Croatia. He went somewhere else to hide his taxes. And I know exactly where he went. So we'll share that with you guys in a few hours here, because I've got a crew of individuals that have been working on this. We have been absolutely slaying it. These guys are geniuses, and I'm not taking credit for any of it. All I did was pull the flight paths, and they can come up with some incredible information. So later this evening, around 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have a YouTube live stream, Twitter space call, Discord live stream, all at the same time. and we're going to display it here. So if you guys would like to discuss with us, you can all come on and ask us questions. We can have a verbal conversation about everything that's going on, where Kenny G is possibly stashing his money, and what it is exactly that he's hauling in his airplane, making trips back and forth to Aspen, Colorado, and Monaco, and Paris. And I bet a lot of it's more than just visiting Aspen for about 4 hours. Well, yeah, I'm sure he would go down to his Aspen home for a whole 4-hour vacation. Yeah, that sounds very likely. Mr. Wally's, it's not FlightAware. FlightAware is not free. It's another one. The link to the program used is actually in the other YouTube description video. If you go to the YouTube video where we tracked Kenny's flight path last a couple days ago, in the description, you will find the links for everything and every tab that I used, and you can click it right there. I think it's called ADW or AWS or something along those lines. What's up, Barrett, Andre, Pam, Adam, Birdie, Kay, thank you. 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We are going to be holding the Twitter Space call. Somebody just asked. So we got a little bit more due diligence to do on that side, and we'll share it all with you guys once we're ready. As you can see here, we got about 19 minutes left in the trading session. Let's see how we're going. Look at this exchange reported data. It's just shooting way back up. Exchange reported short interest is at 97 million plus shares. And this estimated shortage percentage is almost 21%. And as you can see, the blue bar is usually higher than the estimate. So yeah, in reality, we're probably up here already. Not to mention all the ETFs that are shorted. We are trading at 38.75, trading sideways for now. That's okay. As you can see, the volume dumped off a little bit, and once it starts to pick up again, we're going to see some either positive or negative price action. But yeah, AMC is up 9% for the day, trading at 38.75. Message, Andre and Margaret, thank you all very much. Appreciate you guys. Pam again, you rock. Angela, thanks for subscribing. Zoel, Mr. Driver, thank you guys. Appreciate you to no end. You have no idea. Excuse me 1 second. I need to grab a big bag of herb. Hey Arthur, did Citadel tweet again? Because I know that Citadel got really upset with Ape Nation because they threatened a lawsuit against the airplane company that was flying the banner that says Ken Griffin lies. So you know that they're watching everything that we say on Twitter and YouTube. What's up, Bookman? AJ? Good to see you. God, we're gonna be fucking rich. What's up, Tama? Paul? Hey, everybody. The chat will censor certain things, you guys. Just in case you're wondering, we don't purposely hide your chats unless you say something like racist or very terrible. But YouTube will automatically hide chats if it's got too many swear words or if it's got a keyword. We don't really have control over that. Sometimes you won't even swear and it'll hide the chat. And we have to go in and try to manually click the button, which can be difficult sometimes when the chat's scrolling by very quickly. But we try. Still up about 8.5%, 8.3% for the day, trading around 38.50 for AMC. And GameStop is trading just about flat at 176.50 currently. We did have a good increase here in GameStop, you know, from 170 up to 176. So it's an interesting day. And again, the reason we're seeing this price action is because today's the last day of the fiscal year, the last day of the fourth quarter for the government. So that being said, there's also short positions that need to be either closed out or rolled over. And we all know they haven't been fucking closed out. Otherwise, the price action would be a lot more than measly 18% gains. Mr. Diamond Hands says, please make sure you all use limit orders during the squeeze. They'll try to screw you out of millions if you use market orders. That's a pretty great point. Using a market order is much less beneficial than using a limit order. Because a limit order means that your order will only buy or sell at or above that level. Or at or below, depending on the one, but yeah, for the better, not for the worse. So you could have a sell limit order set for example, $10,000. Or if you put a market limit order, it might sell, if it's at a $10,000, your order might process at $6,000 or $5,000 or $2,000. And you'll never know the difference as to whether or not you received the proper price because you had it set up as a market order instead of a limit order. $38.26. Let's see. Are we gonna see some pretty heavy shorting here? Hey Nicole, what's up everybody? Paul. Yeah, you're right. We're all here right now. We get to share this moment. We've got money in the stock market. Eventually, the shorts got to close out. Eventually, they got to cover and close out. It might take a long time, but I'm confident I can wait. We have a lot more time and it costs a lot less for me to hold than it does for Citadel to pay their cost to borrow and the interest on their short positions. So, I don't know about you guys, but every time I get paid, I take a nice little chunk or a big chunk and dump it straight into my account. So, it's made it a lot more fun for me to be able to average down, make some money, roll some profits every day or at least every week. And none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a business owner. I'm just an American. I'm just a person like any of you. And so you should do your own due diligence. Don't make trades and don't buy or sell anything based off of what some person on the internet tells you or some YouTube personality tells you. And like I told you guys before, I never had any intention of doing YouTube or even using a Twitter up until recently. It's all more for it's completely for the reason of explaining the situation of what's going on with these stocks and the stock market manipulation that we've been seeing from companies like Citadel and the wash sales that are happening, you know, which they're basically trading shares to themselves. Citadel is giving shares to themselves and saying that, and so it's reducing the price on stocks. And this is called a wash sale. This is highly illegal, and it costs them pennies on the dollar. It costs them pennies on the dollar to do it. You could say that this is just speculation, but in 2014, Citadel was fined for over 500,000 wash sales, if I recall correctly. I'll actually pull that up right now. And I wonder how many more times, fined by FINRA. I wonder how many more times they've done it since. Well, we can go ahead and take a look. I'll pull that up for you guys. Look at that short interest. Damn, that's sexy. Let's go to the advanced, show you guys some more interesting stuff real quick. I heard the SPY is bleeding pretty bad, according to my guy Francisco. Where you at, Francisco? He's an economist with a master's degree. The guy knows his stuff. He's going to be on the space call tonight, I hope, as well as several others. And you're all welcome to come too, everybody, Ape Nation, everybody in the world. We'd love to have as many as possible. AMC trading at 38.35. And for those of you that are curious, Citadel on September 30th at 9:52 a.m. approached flysigns.com, threatening them with a lawsuit for planned defamatory aerial advertisement concerning Citadel Securities and Ken Griffin. Clairlock LLP out of Virginia is representative of Citadel Securities. That says, we write on behalf of our clients, Citadel and its founder, Kenny G. We understand from recent Reddit and Twitter posts that you or your company, Fly Signs Aerial, have contracted with an individual identified as Catherine Larson, Cat Striker, to fly an airplane towing a large banner emblazoned with the phrase, Ken Griffin lied under oath. We understand that you agreed to do this in New York City at midday this Friday, October 1st. Tomorrow! With this letter, you're hereby on notice that the statement you plan to display to untold numbers of people, and likely many more who will see the images on social media, is false and defamatory. If you proceed with this planned course of action, you will subject yourself personally and your company to enormous legal risk. Ooh, look at that. They're threatening lawsuits. That's cool. I got some great attorneys, too. Who, I'm sure one of these guys is listening right now. Mazel tov. With this letter, you're notice that the statement you plan to display could subject you and your company to enormous legal risk. The claim that Citadel lied under oath has no factual basis. It is a fabrication being advanced by plaintiffs' lawyers and a credulous online mob on Twitter. Gee, you're right. He hasn't been charged or arrested with lying under oath yet. We just have a lot of anecdotal evidence from a lawsuit discovery from Florida, basically showing us this. But there's no proof yet. At least there won't be until they have to go to court over this for lying to Congress. Now, if that'll happen or not, I don't know. If he lied to Congress or not, I don't know. But the anecdotal evidence is strong. And again, this is all alleged. Allegedly, Ken Griffin lied under oath, according to these people on Twitter and Reddit and around the world. Gee, I wonder if everybody in the world is wrong. I don't know. I'm done with this. Like, I'm not even gonna read this anymore. Fuck these attorneys. Fuck Ken Griffin. Fuck Citadel. I look forward to not working with them as a market maker. I will never work with Citadel as a market maker. Well, let me take that back. Not as long as Ken Griffin's in charge. And he's the boss, but at this point, who knows what will happen. If Bernie Madoff didn't get off scot-free, I find it real hard to believe that Ken Griffin will. We got about 7 minutes left in the trading day. 38 and change. For those of you guys that are unaware, my good friends XX Wired on YouTube and AMC Bigums also on YouTube are going to be interviewing Dave Lauer tomorrow, Friday. So they're going to have a nice interview with the Dave Lauer. Look for AMC Bigums on YouTube. Look for XX Wired on YouTube. They're going to have some fantastic questions for him regarding the markets, the country, projects that are currently being worked on, as well as other things. So. Right, Pam, Ian, Martin, thank you guys. Richie, what's up, everybody? Yeah. No, guys, I haven't seen the new Citadel tweet. Let's go take a look at that. That sounds fun. 38.21. Trading up almost 7.5% still for the day because they've been hitting it hard with shorts, I believe, and wash sales, and who knows what other kind of nefarious shit, ever since it was up almost 20% for the day here above 41.60. But again, you got to remember that these guys want it to be under $40 by the end of the week, by Friday, because otherwise that's going to mean more calls in the money that they're going to have to delta hedge for, which means more buying pressure. But yeah, Tara makes a great point. Are you suggesting that 4 million retail investors are conspiracy theorists? You sound like the real conspiracy theorists to me. Could be possible. Who knows? Could be possible. Let's go take a look at these tools. I'd just like everybody to know the people that Citadel follows are people that Kenneth Griffin has previously worked for or done business with or received or given money to. In my belief, this is not a fact. However, I do believe that, oh yeah, that's right. I have Ken Griffin's resume. I'll share that with you guys later on. Looks like he did go to Harvard. He did do work for Harvard University or some sort of investments with them. This is alleged. I do not have actual proof, but I will show some documentation later on. It's not directly about Ken Griffin. It's more about Citadel Securities, public information. Okay, it's public information. Nothing that nobody else can find on the internet, or anybody in the internet can go and find these details. It's just not many people care to. Plaintiffs' lawyers concealed the facts from the court and the public, causing conspiracy theorists to churn baseless theories. We first learned of Robinhood's trading restrictions from posts on Twitter, as evidenced by real-time communications. Oh, cute! They tweeted, they emailed each other. 1:28, supposedly at 8:32. Citadel says morning. 8:39. Several minutes later. Wait a minute. So is there something missing in here between this discussion between 8:32 and 8:39? Well, why would it take you so long to start typing that? I'm not sure. But all of a sudden they saw a tweet that you guys are putting GME and AMC in close only. And that was it. And then about 12 seconds later, they said fact or fiction. So if they waited 12 seconds between writing this and this, why would they wait about 7 minutes after saying good morning to write here? Or is there correspondence missing in between these two that they didn't release to us? Side here, about another 15-20 seconds later, Robinhood says, good morning. That is correct. I was just going to notify you. AMC, GME, NOK, BB, Naked, COS, Express, BBBY, and all are PCO. Position close only, which means they pulled the motherfucking buy button. Citadel said, these are all moving to close only. And they said, again, that was about 25 seconds later. And then 9 seconds later, Robinhood Securities says, at the moment, yes. 8 seconds later, Citadel said, equities, options, can you send me the official notice? And then 12 seconds later, they said, just equity at this time. Wow. That's right, Pam. I remember 2008. I remember all the people that went homeless, lost their homes, their investments, their pensions, their 401ks, their life savings in the stock market. I remember 2008. I remember losing a lot of money. My family, my friends. I remember seeing friends go homeless. Fuck you, Citadel. Gee, is this a conspiracy, Citadel? How many hundreds of millions of wash sales have occurred? I don't know, because January 9th, 2014, the New York Stock Exchange charged Citadel Securities with engaging in wash sales 502,243 times using its computer algorithms. Their computer algorithms back in 2014 had already engaged in wash sales 500,000 plus times. A wash sale is where the buyer and the seller are the same fucking entity. Citadel is buying and selling to themselves. These short ladder attacks don't even include other companies anymore. Be right back. They don't even have to sell it to anybody else. They're selling it to them fucking selves. They're selling it to them fucking selves over and over again. How do you think this is happening? How do you think this is happening? Gee, I don't know. But I would allege and I would propose that they are probably using this tactic to create these short ladder attacks. After they roll over and close out some short positions, they have to take out some more to keep the price down. Because they're not actually closing out. They're just covering them and pushing them over, rolling them over temporarily. A wash sale is where the buyer and the seller are the same fucking entity and no change in beneficial ownership occurs. Wash sales are illegal because they can manipulate stock prices up or down. Citadel paid $115,000 fine to commit 500,000 wash sale violations. 500,000. I wonder how many hundreds of millions or billions they made off of that. I don't know. But they made a fuckload of money with that. So is that a conspiracy, Citadel? Did I make that up? No. Did the New York Stock Exchange make that up? Maybe. Why don't you sue them for it? Since the New York Stock Exchange is making shit up that you ended up. Oh yeah, that's right. You paid the fine because it was only $115,000. It was a slap on the fucking wrist. You're a fucking joke, Citadel. It may not be illegal, but that doesn't make it nefarious. What are we at? Ended the day, 38.25 on AMC. 38.25, up 7.74%. 7.77, and she's still going. 7.85. She's still going. Yeah, thanks so much. I love you. Thanks, Ape Nation, for telling me about Citadel's most recent tweets. They're saying we're all conspiracy theorists. However, they were publicly fined by the New York Stock Exchange and other entities for committing these crimes. Or maybe I shouldn't call them crimes because they're technically legal. They just fine them for them and give them a slap on the wrist. Oh, bad boy. Give us $100,000 for defrauding people from millions of dollars potentially. Ken Griffin, I want my fucking money. I want the fucking money that you owe to me and all these people when you close out these positions. And I'm looking forward to that day. I don't care how long it takes. A day, a month, a year, 10 years. I got time. I got time. Ken Griffin's days are numbered. Simply in the sense that Congress and FINRA, SEC, the FBI, they're onto him. Cheers, Pam. Cheers on the second margarita. I love it. Yeah, Citadel's calling people conspiracy theorists. Where's the conspiracy? Did you pay the New York Stock Exchange $115,000 to settle 502,000 wash sales, where you sold something to your fucking self to manipulate stock prices up or down? Why did you pay that if it was just a conspiracy? Why would you pay them anything? Citadel, you got great attorneys that are taking people to court for doing things so simple, such as flying an airplane banner. The person flying the airplane doesn't know or care what the fuck the banner says. And if they do, a simple statement on the bottom that says, "We do not endorse or know this to be factual," would be enough to get that lawsuit thrown out. Or they could just put allegedly at the end. They put the word allegedly at the end of the banner. That should do it. But I understand where a small business may not want to go to war with Citadel. I get it. But at the same time, I would love to countersue Citadel. I would love that. Because I have a feeling we can come up with quite a few things. And I live in Chicago. So, not too much of a commute. Hey, Ken Griffin, send your airplane to pick me up. It'll be mine one of these days when I buy it after FBI had seized it and put it up for auction. Jen says the only conspiracy is Kenny's money in my bank. I love that. That's fantastic. What a joke. And for those of you that don't know, the reverse repurchase agreements for September 30th are at an all-time record high of $1.6 billion. 1.6. Yesterday we had a record. 1.415. And today, new high score. $1.604 trillion on the reverse repurchase agreement with 90 plus counterparties. Hey, John Carlson, thanks for dropping this here on my page as well. From the Federal Reserve Bank in New York, reverse repo operations for the Treasury. T-bills was 1.604 billion, or 1,604 billion, which is 1.6. Oh, shit. That's insane. That's insane. $1.6 trillion because they need this liquidity on hand. We got the House. They're expected to vote on the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. Then they've got another $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill as well to discuss. They've got a long way to go. They were managed to avert a government shutdown because they all want to get paid. All right, keep that in mind. They all want to get paid. So. Nicole, Albert, Ian, AJ, thank you everybody for your support. Now, this is Marcel Klinovic, Boss Blunts. Thanks again, everybody. It's great spending time with you, getting to watch the price action here towards the end of the day. AMC is, GameStop is about flat for the day. AMC is up 7.63%. And we got our boy Jeff, the stock swinger, in here. Thank you very much for the super chat, brother. You didn't have to do that. Stock Swinger says, whistleblower award is Boss Blunts. Dude, awesome work, yo. Yo! Thanks, brother. I've been a big fan. For those of you who don't know, please go follow my man, Stock Swinger. I've been following him since even I started on Twitter and YouTube. The guy does excellent due diligence as well. He's brought our due diligence on the channel. And he always represents, he always tells people exactly, where you receive the information or how to find it for yourself. I really enjoy your channel a lot, Jeff. I still watch you every single day, Stock Swinger. And there's not many people that I watch on YouTube, I'll tell you that much. But you're definitely one of the best at covering the broad market due diligence. So thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate you. Excuse me, 1 second. Thank you so much, my brother, Stock Swinger. Please make sure you guys go follow him. He's got all sorts of information on the channel, but he's done a great job with AMC and GameStop coverage. Pam, thank you as well. You guys are rock stars. And from the last Champion Chat as well. Bananas in the sky, because we're going in dry, baby. We're going in dry, and I think Citadel and Ken Griffin might feel that one. For those of you who weren't here earlier when I mentioned it, 8 p.m. tonight, 9 p.m. tonight, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to host a Twitter space call / YouTube live stream. And we are going to discuss Ken Griffin's most recent whereabouts on the public available information of where his jet has been recently. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Check it out right here or on Twitter. Stone23 says, what's up, Boss Blunts? Love your content. I think investors shouldn't be asking for a class action lawsuit. We want the big bag of money, not a $5 check. You probably make a good point, but it seems that maybe that Florida lawsuit, even if it doesn't yield much, that is actually just that is a civil suit. That's not a criminal case. But that wouldn't change anything that's going on in the stock market. That's just between them particularly. So thank you so much, everybody, for your support. You guys have been incredible. Truly. And again, Stock Swinger, thanks again, brother. You rocked. You're too cool, man. I know you've shouted me out several times on the channel, and guys like you and Jackson Hunter and Houston Wade and stuff. You guys have helped us to become, to become a stronger community together. When we weren't sure what's going on, or when we were, curious as to what's happening, and we come to you and we try to provide the best information possible. Days to cover is at up to 2.80 according to FinTel. Volumes over 100 million for the first time since September 7th. Why? I believe, as we can see here, I believe it's because today was the last day of the fiscal quarter, the last day of the fiscal year as well. So a lot of those shorts had to be covered. As you can see, the volume was super dry all day, very, very low. They prepared for this for the last 2 weeks, kept keeping the price down, and then jumped straight up to the $41.60 mark. And wow, I think I've got a treat for you guys here.
Well,
I sure do. Check this out.
Robinhood shut down one of the parts of the trade.
We've got Mark
the
Cohodes
buy side
speaking on Citadel, Robinhood, MIMEDX, and corruption.
This whole
Let me turn the volume down over here on this.
Joe
We want to
Sixpack,
hear
when
this.
that happened, I just thought was beyond unfair, and it was something I had never seen before in my life. And
Let me adjust some settings here.
it corresponded with the time where Citadel made an investment in Melvin, which makes absolutely no sense. And Ken Griffin said that Melvin or Plotkin was one of the greatest investors he's ever seen. If he was such a great investor, why didn't he invest in his fund when his fund opened year 1, 2, 3, or 4? Why would you invest in a guy who's 3 days from going out of business? None of this makes any sense. It is literally the big lie. And I've talked to Senator Warren's people.
Wow.
And I've talked to him frequently, and I spoke to him as recently as yesterday. And one of the things that needs to happen is the government needs to have a fact-finding mission to find out what the fuck really went on. None of this bullshit, none of this lobbying, none of this grandstanding. Find out exactly what went on, what laws were broken, and fix it so it doesn't happen again. Because what's going to kill this system the next go round is the excessive use of leverage. And Citadel is so hyper leveraged, it's not even funny. So what I think what went on, and again, hopefully one day it comes out, is I think Citadel was absolutely sideways in all of these MEME stocks, and they had to stop the bleeding. And they had to stop the bleeding, so they counteracted Melvin, so he didn't have to cover anymore. And it wouldn't surprise me.
Mark Cohodes did the recent interview with Lisa Commissar, I believe her name is, Lucy Commissar,
because Bernanke
exposing
Citadel,
and discussing a lot of things on the market.
Citadel paid Janet Yellen God knows how much to speak over the years. And I think I could sit through about 21 seconds of Janet Yellen before I'd fall asleep. So paying her to speak is not what I'd call, making sense. So I just think that individuals need to know exactly what went down, exactly what happened, and do something to make sure it doesn't happen again. Because unless there are changes, this will happen again and again. And, I filmed a movie last week in Portland, and you hear the stories about how much people lost that day when they flipped the switch. And it's just sickening, and it's just not right. And, you can make investments that work and you win, God bless you. And if you lose, it's a shame. But at least it's a fair fight. At least it's fair. The markets then are fair.
That's great. Looks
when
like
you
this is
shut
being
off one
hosted
side
by
of
Edwin
the trade,
Dorsey, and his
you
speaker is
destroy
Mark
people.
Cohodes.
And I'm amazed Robinhood still has clients. I'm amazed Robinhood's still in business. And the dirty little secret is Robinhood is
Only
not
has
run
17. Robinhood
by,
has 17
by
clients only.
greasy-haired Vlad. No chance.
Oh, I'm
it's
sorry.
run by Gallagher, who's
I
a
meant
former
Citadel.
SEC commissioner, and you couldn't have an SEC commissioner running a brokerage firm. So Vlad is the face. I mean, I said on Twitter, I wouldn't trust Vlad running a lemonade stand.
Ernesto, he popped out of
So
nowhere because he's a short seller and he was interviewed by Lucy Commissar and it was put on Reddit.
What went on
and we actually
is
go on there
really
to do due
bad.
diligence. So a lot of apes
And
have shared it. That's
the
why he came out of nowhere.
people of that Wall Street bets community or super stock, whatever they call themselves.
All of us came out of nowhere at some point.
It's one thing to talk about problems, and when I talk about problems, I usually don't unless I have a solution. But folks, you need to get together. You need to get together. You need to find a leader. You need to each donate 10 or 15 or 20 or 100 bucks. And you need to hire lobbyists and lawyers and take it to government the way Citadel does. You know, find out how much Citadel has paid politicians and lobbyists and this, that, and the other. It's a sick amount. And then you add in how much they've been fined. It's a sicker amount. So Joe Sixpack, who I've always
Margaret,
pulled for,
this is a live
and always
interview
fought
right now.
For,
This is as good as it's going to get.
You guys need to
the fact
band
that I'm able to
together
capture this
and
right now
organize to push this forward. Otherwise,
is just lucky, in my
I'm afraid
opinion.
you have no chance, because I know how hard the fight
Thanks
is.
to Trade
and the
Tiger
fight
so much.
is
Trade Tiger is in
absolutely
Boss
brutal.
Blunt's think tank.
Brutal.
He put us onto this.
So, Mark, what I think Robinhood would say in response, and this is in the lawsuit, and it's the third pinned tweet at the top of this space, is they got a email, a $3 billion margin call from the direct clearing house, DTCC. And they got a $3 billion margin call. They weren't going to be able to meet it. So the only thing they could do, their hands were tied, were to move all these meme stocks to position close only allow people to sell them. Is there something logically wrong in that? Like, yeah, okay, Robinhood screwed up big time. The risk controls were terrible. They're not running a clean ship. But what would you have done if you got this $3 billion margin call? What were the other options Robinhood had on the table that might not have been moving this to position close only?
Perfect. What's the market cap of Robinhood right now? What's the market cap?
One sec.
I mean,
Mark.
It's like 30 billion, something like that. 30 billion?
Yeah, 36 billion.
Well, the one thing you do if you pay Citadel $300 million a year for order flow is I think you would call Citadel and say, you just gave Melvin $2 billion. How about loaning us $3 billion? We'll give you some equity on the cheap, and we're going public in 3 months. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is just halting the stocks. And this is what really gets me. However many people are on here, I assume everyone trades stocks. I think everyone knows what their margin is or their buying power, their SMA is by the minute. You just if you're running a brokerage firm, not know where your capital is at any point in time. That's
right.
Why you have risk. That's why you have controls.
Margaret Holmes, I am well aware, but this is not that 59-minute interview. This is a live stream. Thanks so much for sharing that, though. You guys can't find Mark Coho's interview
and not only
on YouTube as well, but here's another interview that he's doing live right now with Edwin Dorsey. I would love to try to get in this and speak with him, but I want to hear him speak.
How are you fine 2 hours after the market closes and not fine at 3 in the morning? And then where did you raise the money? Just halt the stocks. I'm a 61-year-old man. I've seen all sorts of shit all across the world. I've never seen one side of the trade halted, even in Canada, even in Arctic Mexico, they let things trade. So I've never seen anything like that. It's amazing to me Robinhood still has customers. And then Robinhood went public and the stock went up, which is, again, I'm not short Robinhood. If I had a brain in my head, I probably would be, but I don't get it. I don't get it. And what I think should happen is the government should get some people who are retired, like myself and Ben Hunt, who actually give a shit about the system and give a shit about the country and give a shit about not destroying Joe Sixpack. And I'll get to the bottom of it. I'm not afraid of Ken Griffin, and I'm not afraid of Vlad. I'm not afraid of any of those clowns. But unless changes are made, these clowns will destroy the system. That I can guarantee. Because the next time it happens, it's going to happen off a much bigger base and more people are going to get hurt. So I hate it. I absolutely hate what's going on. And that's from a system standpoint. I'm not in any of the stocks. And if the stocks go up, great. If they go down, that's great too.
Mark, another thing that came out of this lawsuit that I think was absolutely nuts, and this is now the pinned tweet at the top of the space, is that Citadel's president and chief operating officer was trading a lot of these meme stocks during the short squeeze. And in one message to Vlad, he said, "I sold my AMC today. FYI, we are moving tomorrow to GME 100% closing, so you are aware." It's kind of crazy to me that the chief operating officer is trading these stocks and then selling out right before they move all the meme stocks to position close only. And everybody should click on that top tweet and see the lawsuit for yourself and look at the primary document, because I almost couldn't believe it. Mark, what do you make of that? Do you think that's something a regulator should look at? And do you think that if you were a regulator, what would you do in this situation about the Robinhood's chief operating officer trading AMC and selling all of it right before they move it to position close only?
To be kind, and I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a security regulator, I think, and I know plenty of former regulators, I think at a minimum, regulators and law enforcement should find this beyond interesting, and they should drag everyone in and get to the bottom of it and let everyone know what's going on, because this is the kind of crap that breeds no confidence, and it really upsets people a lot. Because when people lose a lot of money and they lose it unfairly, which they did in this case, and they see this kind of behavior, people really get pissed off. And if you ever want to work hard to lose confidence in a system, they're going about it in a very, very, very big way. And this is Citadel. I mean, payment for order flow, right? $300 million. Citadel is not paying Robinhood $300 million to lose $300 million. They're paying them $300 million to make. So if they're $300 million in the hole, they're going to make 400, 500, 600 on top of that. And how do people think they actually make their money? And they're making their money on the backs of Robinhood customers. So look, there's a lot of people I can't stand. I hate the smash and grab crowd, as you know. I hate corporate criminals, as you know. And I hate people trying to rip others off of their money. I hate it. But when you do it with such arrogance in such broad daylight, and the Cartoon Network treats Robinhood and Ken Griffin and all these mucky, the billionaire guy here, the billionaire guy there, all you do is really, really, really piss off the working guy. You really piss him off, and you piss me off. And if I was a regulator or I ran the SEC, which was my dream job, but I think that ship has sailed, I would come down so hard on these guys, they wouldn't know which end is up. And if they heard my footsteps, they'd have twitches like Nocera has twitches. And wait a minute, and back to that Nocera thing, I went after that guy, and I wouldn't give up this mimetics fight for 2.5 years after that rat bastard wrote what he wrote. And I waited till all those whistleblowers had safe harbor. So the Citadel Robinhood thing bothers me a lot. Doesn't bother me as much as mimetics. It bothers me a lot. And I think that if other people believe what I have to say and understand what I have to say, they should try to join up and try to push this thing and really push it, because this mimetics thing and Nocera losing his job and Truth winning out, it takes time, but the fight is worth it. That's what I'm thinking today.
Mark, one final question from me before we go to audience Q&A. And if you're in the audience and have a question for Mark, please request mic access and we'll start calling on people. Mark, I wanted to get your opinion on payment for order flow because there's a lot of controversy here. And what Citadel would argue, and I think there's some truth to this, is, we're providing better execution, and at least on the equities trades, we're making money on the spreads, or we can, trade against it from our own book. Is it possible in your mind that that payment for order flow results in as good or better execution for equity trades and option trades for retail investors? Or does payment for order flow result in worse prices than if you were just sending it directly to the exchange? And can you give us a flavor of how that works? Because I think, it's tough for even experts to wrap their head around.
Payment for order flow is illegal in many countries. It should be illegal here. It shouldn't exist. I believe in free markets. There's plenty of people in the brokerage business. It's not much to pay half a cent or a penny commission to trade stocks. Free isn't free. This is not the democratic way to get Joe Sixpack to invest in stocks. It's just a complete mess. I'd rather hit questions. I hate it. I hate anti-competitive behavior. I hate bullies. People, think I bully people? Hell no. If you only knew the backside of my life of what I go through, the threats I've had to overcome, the sheer hate for standing up for something you believe in, you'll then learn something, folks, about bullies. I hate this Ken Griffin using his clout to control what, 30 to 40% of the trades, option market making, hedge funds, payment for order flow. There's a dastardly side to it, and then we'll hit the questions. If they know what accounts are doing and people's patterns of trades, I think 90% of Robinhood trades or accounts are losers. I'm going to speculate because I don't want any hassles. I'll speculate that it wouldn't surprise me that Citadel just takes the other side of some of those trades. I think that needs to be looked into as well. Exactly how are these things executed? But that could be for different spaces on a different day. So fire away from the questions because there's a lot of ground and a lot of people have hit me with questions, and I just say we'll try to handle it on the spaces and see how all that goes. But I definitely think if the people, the Robinhood or the Reddit crowd were to band together, not on how they trade, but on their ideas and on what's fair and on what happened, I think they can make progress because if they push hard enough, I think it's a election type of event because the stock market's big enough and there's enough leverage out there that at some point people are going to pay attention and something's going to the only way you can make change is you have to get someone's attention and you can't just give up. And if the going gets tough, you just got to get tougher. So
Mark, sounds good. We have 900 people in this space. Let's go to questions. I'll start calling on people. And if people could keep the questions respectful and concise, I'd really appreciate it. Our first question, let's go to Tara Bull. I think, Tara Bull, we're adding you to ask a question. And go ahead.
Hi.
turn your
There's a
mic.
little bit of a delay. So as soon as you let speakers up, there's like a 5-second delay where I can't hear you guys. So I just had a statement more than a question in regard to the buy button being turned off by Robinhood and several other brokers. It's news to me that there was also an issue with people not being able to sell their call options at the same time. So that's one thing. Another thing was that Mark was talking about the that's going on. So we actually had a plane that was supposed to go into the air tomorrow for, kind of putting Ken Griffin on blast with Citadel. And he actually threatened had a cease and disorder letter sent, so they're not able to get the plane in the air
What's
now
up,
at this
Stacy?
point,
Ghost,
which I think is
Pam,
pretty crazy.
Stock Swinger.
What are your thoughts on that,
Daydream,
Mark?
everybody.
I was just
Thanks
curious.
so much for your support. Stone.
Well, Ken
and
Griffin
Chad.
has a lot
Thank
of
you,
money,
guys.
and Citadel has the best of lawyers, and they're a revolving door with the government, so they have former of everyone there. But at some point, it becomes a David versus Goliath thing, and at some point, there's the court of law and the court of public opinion, and they're going to lose the court of public opinion big time fast. And I keep putting it out there. Why did Citadel give Melvin $2 billion? Not only why did he give him $2 billion, for him to say he's generationally one of the best money managers out there, I'd put Plotkin in the bottom 5% of everyone I know. I think he's not good at all, and he has no risk controls. But really, the part about giving Melvin $2 billion, why did he then go 6 months later and take out $500 million? It makes no sense. So I think, Tara, flying a plane, that's sort of like pissing on a house fire, or a 350-pound guy drinking Diet Coke. It's going to take a lot more than flying a plane. It's going to take real people doing real stuff, getting together and saying, look, Holmes, you screwed me out of my hard-earned money through this, and we need answers. And there's 600,000 of us, and we all vote. And if you don't think this is an issue, we'll try and vote you all out, or do something.
That's my next question. How do we vote you in?
You're not. That's just that ship.
We
has
need
sailed.
you.
Okay, I good. My son needs me alive, as does my wife, and I don't need. Look, one day when all's said and done, I will write a book and I will expose everything and everyone for what they've done and what really goes on. What really goes on. But people can't really digest what goes on yet, because it's sort of mind bending. But this Robinhood, Citadel, Melvin is a good place to start. But keep pushing, Tara. But we got to do better than fly
Yeah, we're
planes.
hashtagging like crazy. The ape community is going ham. I mean, we're really trying to get the word out there. I don't know. I'm sure you're aware of Charles Payne and how outspoken he is. He's basically the only one who speaks up on our behalf as far as mainstream media goes. But he's the guy. I don't know if it's possible to get you on an interview with him, but I think that would be an amazing thing to see happen.
After the spaces, I'm back hiding under a rock. Okay,
thank you guys for letting me up.
Next one, Edwin.
Awesome, Chris. Chris, can you ask your question, Chris?
Yeah. So I got a quick question, Mark. I know you constantly refer a lot to smash and grab crowd. Just in regards to that and those, and I'm mainly asking about ones that are activist short. Or short research firms that also, whether it's their fund or whatever, ones that basically manage outside money for people that, you've had some issues with some people. But for those people, in the sense that they put out a short report that they're genuinely, they believe is accurate in regards to a company, but it does not make sense for them to hold the position in their fund because they're, arguing with maybe a very irrational market. And they're basically trying to protect investor capital, and they, inherently have potentially a fiduciary obligation to do so. How come, or how would you differentiate those that you consider a smash and grab, which seems to be everybody that puts out any short that you disagree with? No offense, but how do you differentiate that, and argue that they're doing the best thing for their investors and their capital to protect it, as opposed to just make their point, which they might very well be right about? But the market's not reacting that way.
Okay. Hey, that's a fair question. Here's the way I'll go with it. If I go and put out that a stock is worth $1 or a fraud or should be delisted, and I believe in that work, I believe in what I said, I should be in that stock longer than 6 to 24 hours. I don't give a rat's ass about their fund. If you don't believe it, that you can't be in a position for 24 hours, you shouldn't write the report. And you should also use your own name and not hide behind some alias. So this fiduciary thing is a bunch of shit. I used to run a fund. I was short my medics forever. I had the FBI knocking on my door for stories that never even were true about threatening that fellow. If you write it and you believe it, you should believe it in enough to be there for a period of time. I'm not saying you should be in it for 5 years, but you can be in there for 2 weeks, a month, or your story to play out. But all this bullshit about writing reports, they only write one report, you never hear from them again. It's just bullshit. It's just absolute bullshit, and I hate it. I hate it. I like the research. I like the ideas. I have no problem with the stories. I have no problem exposing the frauds. What I have a problem with is telling people that the stock is worth $1. Those people sell the stock, and you're on the other side of the trade. It's the same thing with that low-life guy, Gentile, who sued me twice for defamation. I beat him twice, and he paid my lawyer fees twice. He used to pump up a bunch of garbage stocks to unsuspecting people on whatever story he would use, and he would sell it. So there's smash and grab, which I hate, and there's pump and dump that I hate. And if you like something and you're going to go on the record and tell people you like it, you should like it enough to sit with it for at least 6 to 24 hours. That's the part I don't like about it, Chris.
Thanks for that question, Chris. Our next question is going to be from Joshua. Joshua, if you can unmute and ask a question, that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon, guys. I appreciate you guys doing the panel, by the way, and answering all of our questions. It means a lot. Real quick, so I wanted to address Citadel's PR attempt and kind of their piss poor attempt at damage control that we recently saw on Twitter. After what we see 9 months of silence, right? They just came out January 27th. That was the last time they spoke. A day before, they ended up doing a sale for close on all their securities and equity. So I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that. And then also, I don't know if you guys saw their tweets today. Essentially, they're talking about a live chat they had with Robinhood the day of them taking away the sell button, saying that they learned that day. So I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that. And I think it's odd timing too, especially how they're doing it almost like a live feed a day before or 2 days before the $1 trillion requirement by banks who are also kind of funding these guys. So just wanted to get your guys' thoughts.
I think Citadel realizes that they're losing the court of public opinion quickly. I think it's like a ping pong ball with a big hole in it going right down the drain. They seem like they're okay, but I think they're scared to death because they realize when the facts come out or people were to focus on the real facts and the real issue, I think they know they're fucked. And I think they're trying to spin. I think they're trying to play their games with the Cartoon Network. I know Sorkin. I like Sorkin. These guys are all captives to these guys. They could give a shit about Joe Sixpack. They could care less. Most people could care less about the guys who are in Robinhood. They could care less. So in order to get people to care, you have to bring up the issues that hit them the most, and that is money. And that's what Ken Griffin cares about, money. So he can buy another building in Manhattan, so he can get more money, so he can control more things, so he can control more flow. I mean, Citadel is 10 times more dangerous right now because they're so leveraged than Goldman Sachs ever was. Goldman Sachs looks like kindergarten boys compared to Citadel. So these guys need to try to play the game in the court of public opinion, and they're going to try to make things go away. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But if my energy works on what I'm spending time on, and real people in the government who want to fight for Joe Sixpack care, then the game's on. But they want people to focus on all this fail to deliver and hypothecating shares and naked shorting. That is a loser's argument. That will not work. What will work is focusing on what went down, who knew what. And look, that guy Vlad, that guy could not answer, what's 3 + 7 divided by 2. He could not answer how much water you mix with lemonade to sell at the stand. He is the face. The guy who runs Citadel is Gallagher, who's a former SEC commissioner. That's the guy. He's the high price guy. And it's the focus on what went down, how it went down, and to get real answers, which haven't appeared. It just hasn't appeared. The stock market's gone up. Everyone thinks it's fine. The media has swept it under the rug. And, the folks who call themselves apes, I give them credit. They're driven that they won't give up. But you got to focus on what the issue is. And the issue is very simply money, over leverage, and screwing Joe Sixpack. That's what it is. That is the show.
And Joshua, I love that question about regulators. I just want to highlight that a link to the full lawsuit is pinned at the top of this tweet and at the top of this space, and some screenshots from the lawsuit are also pinned at the top of this space so people can read it for themselves. Another thing I would just highlight briefly is there's this concept of regulatory capture, where over time, big industry almost always captures their regulator to not necessarily control it, but have undue influence over it. And when you see
I've been trying to
Citadel
get in
paying
there, but he
Janet
won't give
Yellen
me the microphone. So
$700,000
maybe Edwin
or
doesn't
something
know
like
me.
that
Maybe
for
he
a
doesn't
speech,
care
and
who
you
I
see
am. I'm sure there's a long
Robinhood
line.
hiring
That's
a
okay. I'm
former
nobody
SEC
special.
commissioner
But
and
I am
paying him
trying to get, I do
millions
have my
and
hand
tens of
raised.
millions of
I've been trying
dollars
to
in
get the mic
stock
for a
grants.
while.
It's like all
Maybe
that
he'll let me
makes you
speak,
lose a
maybe
little
not.
faith in the
But Mark is
regulatory
bringing up great
system.
points anyway.
And things aren't necessarily black and white. It might not be that Citadel explicitly told Robinhood move stuff to position close only, but there's definitely a huge gray zone between explicitly telling them and exerting no influence whatsoever. And I think this lawsuit casts a lot of doubt on them exerting no influence whatsoever. With that though,
and to that end, right? I'm of the type where if I make a mistake or I fuck up, I say, you know what? I made a mistake. If I'm overly hard on somebody, I apologize. I had a run in with a Canadian regulator once, and the guy was very helpful, and he was a really good guy. And he wasn't supposed to talk to me, but he talked to me. And someone snitched on him, and he got fired. And it was wrong. It was wrong that they did that to him. It was wrong that they said he couldn't talk to me because I corresponded with him. And I felt so shitty that this guy got fired because he talked to me. I reached out and did whatever I could to try to make it right. That's how bad I felt. And these guys at Citadel and Robinhood should feel like absolute crap. And what they should do is they say, we made a mistake. We need to make it
Well, the
right.
concerning part is they're
Right?
making it. I don't know if you saw it. They're saying that we're essentially the equivalent, or they've made an analogy to us basically being conspiracy theorists, saying that we didn't land on the moon, when there's factual evidence of this happening.
Well, fine, right? I've lived the big lie because I've had people attack me countlessly, whether it's Learnout, whether it's a Remisoft, whether it's Media Vision, whether it's my Medics, whether it's Novastar, doesn't matter. That I'm a liar, I'm a fraud, I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I was right. Home Capital Group, Concordia, I can go on and on and on. You're not wrong, and you're not conspiracy theorists. But what you have to do is say, you need the truth to come out. You need the truth. You don't need rhetoric, Ken, or Plotkin, or Vlad, or Gallagher. You need the truth. And Mark Cahotis does not have subpoena power. If I did, I'd get to this thing in about a month. It would be figured out. It doesn't take long. The question is, does the government have the will to expose it and get to the bottom of it? That is the $1 million question.
Fair enough. And let's move on to some more questions. I love getting questions up here. We're going to go to Emily for the next question, and then after that, Drew. But Emily, go ahead.
Hey guys, more of a two-parter. One, how do we feel about Robinhood's capitalization, in terms of not being able to cover all of those AMC long positions? And secondly, do you guys have an AMC GME price target?
How do I feel about Robinhood? I mean, Robinhood has a market cap, I don't know, somewhere between 15 and 50 billion probably. So now they can just raise money or do whatever for their things. I mean, I wouldn't have a dime at Robinhood.
To be clear, the reason they couldn't execute these orders was because of their capitalization, right?
I mean, honestly, Emily, I don't really know the reason, nor do you, nor does anyone right now. I mean, who knows? You think they're truthful? Do you think they've been? I mean, on Monday they have one story. On Tuesday we got another story. Then we have insiders trading in the stock. I don't know what to believe. Right? I mean, I would have zero confidence in anything with Robinhood. Zero. Now, they can say whatever they want. I just don't believe a word of what they say. I mean, when you have the CEO getting on Cartoon Network saying we don't have a margin call or a capital issue or liquidity issue, and blank hours later they're $3 billion short, I wouldn't trust that guy straight in my stock drawer. So that's just me. I mean, there's a lot of brokerage firms to choose from. Pick whichever one you want. And in terms of AMC, I couldn't tell you within $10 where AMC trades. If you're long it and it goes up, I'm happy for you. If you're short it and it goes down, I'm happy for you. This is not about the stocks for me. This is about how people have been treated, leveraging the system, and not telling the truth.
Sounds good. And I would also highlight, I don't have AMC or GameStop stock personally, and I'm not short. I'm just interested in more of the mechanics behind it. And with that, let's go to Drew for our next question. Drew, and then after that, we're going to go to the good householder. But Drew, go ahead and ask a question.
Yeah, so my question really has to do with market structure. So right now in the kind of payment for order flow model, right, you've got market makers paying these brokerages for retail flow, and that flow is like reasonably non-toxic, right? Like it's not directional. The reason it's valuable to market makers is because like it's pretty random statistically in the aggregate. And so I guess my question is, I'm curious to understand your lens for thinking about why it's a good thing that retail flow should be directed onto exchange and like be allowed to interact with like reasonably more toxic flow from like quant funds and hedge funds and market makers that are doing prop style trades and the like. Like it seems to me like the model that exists right now is really one where you basically have non-toxic retail flow segregated from anonymized trading on exchange. I guess what I really want to hear is like what your ideal market structure looks like and why it should be that way.
That's a good question. I'm gonna try to simplify the response because I don't know the level of sophistication to the crowd that's listening to this. Is that fair? So people in the program trading algorithm business reached out to me after the Portnoy podcast, and they explained to me how firms like Citadel and others who pay for flow can run algorithms against certain kind of people on how they do, and they know how those stocks can correlate and know how to trade against them. I am a free market guy. When you get an order, you enter the order on the exchange, the order goes through. That's how you get price discovery. If you want to buy it and the stock goes up, great. If you want to sell it, stock goes down, great. And there's a lot of guys who can do business other than Citadel. And I think you shouldn't have to pay for business. I think business should be routed to whatever exchange, platform, whatever, to give everybody the best price. It may take longer. It may move markets more. I don't care. It just gets everyone on the same page. And if for no other reason, it ends this discussion of payment for order flow, which again, as I said earlier, is illegal in certain countries across the world. So there's clearly something about it that certain countries do not like. And that's my view. Does that answer it at all for you?
Yeah, I think that answers it.
Okay, thank you.
Fair enough. And our next question is from the good householder.
Hey guys. Hey Edwin. Thanks for setting this up. Mark, thank you again. Greetings from Arctic Mexico. Might be a bit of a strange question coming from Canada, but Mark, you had mentioned that people are going to have to organize and kind of rally the troops in order to try to make an impact here in the U.S. and some of the stuff that's been going on. I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts in terms of who are some potential allies, in office, in government, or in the media that people can, start to tag or try to bring this to their attention so that it becomes, a more conscious movement going forward. Any people in particular that we can focus on?
Well, I'd focus anyone in Elizabeth Warren's office. I'd focus on anyone in Sherrod Brown's office. I'd focus on John Tester's office. I would focus on the senator from the great state of Pennsylvania. I'm drawing a blank. His last name begins with a T. I would focus, way back when business was pushing workers around, there started to be something called a union. Unions were formed, and it gave workers rights so they weren't beat up by their employer. I think if the crowd were to form, if for lack of a better word, a union, and say there's 700,000 of us and we all vote and we're all organized and we all have rights and we all can lobby just like these other guys and we can all hire lawyers like these other guys, maybe someone who's running in, the 5th district of Arkansas will realize that this is a big issue and he'll support them. I know the Warren crowd believes in this. I know that. And I know that the government needs money. And my idea of an excessive leverage tax, I think, is a really good one because I liken it to a basketball luxury tax. If you want to use excessive leverage to burn the system down, at least get the shit taxed out of it. So when the system does burn down, you don't have to tax Joe Sixpack. You just use the excessive leverage tax. Now, I know banks would hate it, and those guys lobby big. But I mean, I think it's a fair way to go. If you use excessive leverage, you should pay for it, and that doesn't affect rates. But I think, people need to get together and write letters, call, organize, and say they need the full story of what went on. Some of the Reddit crowd reaches out to me and says
Margaret,
they're
thank you
waiting
so
for
much
the
for your
SEC
support and
report.
donation
Well,
to the channel.
you're
Thank
going
you
to
so
be
much.
waiting
25%
to
of all
about
donations are
the
going to
year
charity.
2222
This month it's going to United
if you're
States
counting on the
Veterans,
SEC.
Gary Sinise charity. Thank you, Margaret. Appreciate you.
If you're
I know you've
waiting
been
for
supporting
that, you're going
in
to be
Twitter
waiting
and
a
on
very
YouTube for
long
many
time,
months now.
and you're going to be deeply
All of you
upset.
guys are out
It's
there.
going to
Thanks for
take
sharing. Thank you for
someone
liking.
saying we've had enough. Someone other than Janet Yellen, who's captive to Citadel, someone other than Bernanke, who's captive to Citadel, and find out who
Let me
the
cover her
Citadel
ears.
lobbyists
Ken Griffin,
are
I
and
want my fucking money.
hire other ones. But it's a mess.
Fair enough. Great question. Let's go to our next question. Finn Watchdog. Go ahead and ask a question, Finn
Thanks,
Watchdog.
Owen. Thank you, Mark. I wanted to ask a quick question. Back in March, this has been on my mind since then, and I've never really found a good answer since then. One of the original due diligences posted to the community in March by Adabit, it's called the Evergrande short. You may have read it. Mentioned how Citadel used another arm called Palafox Trading to sell about 123 billion in U.S. Treasuries to the federal government, and they're all
baby
for
boss.
the most part rehypothecated. And that is allegedly the deal here. I didn't do
Oh, good.
too
You
much
just asked about how popular rehypothecation is.
I'm curious
It's a
if
good
you have any
question.
idea how pervasive that is throughout the hedge fund, the big $100 billion funds. Is this a pervasive tactic?
that's just, I think your question's a good one. It's just well over my pay grade, and I only want to speak to stuff I know stuff about, and this is
Frosty Balls said, scooped up another 25 shares today. Grab yourself another one on me, homie. Thank you, Frosty Balls. Thank you very much for your support, brother. You are the best. You are too kind.
Living the dream.
We all are, brother.
Thanks again, Frosty.
My question is, you talked about organizing and making sure that we are being heard. I mean, from what I gather, we're constantly doing that, and we're constantly finding ways to evolve as things further come out. As you know, we've been pushing the buttons that we could push because, like you said, no one really knows. We can guess, we can, ponder, but the DD and the research, we keep digging, and we keep finding it. And I think my biggest question for you is, do you think that we're headed in the right direction? I mean, I personally feel we do. We are, but at the same time, I'd like to know what your thoughts on it is.
Who's we?
The AMC community, the apes, this community that we built behind all of these things that happen in GameStop that we're pushing for free and fair markets. It's millions of us all over the world, and we connect and communicate in Discords. We connect and communicate through our YouTubers. We connect and communicate through our Twitter guys. That's how we stay connected with CEO Adam and the rest of the people.
I'm aware. So, yeah, you ask a really good question. There's the guy who runs GameStop and the guy who runs AMC.
Yeah, Eli, I agree
Those
with you, but
guys
that's
need to
okay.
run their
Everyone
business,
deserves to speak.
right? Their focus should be running their business, and the stock will take care of itself. That's why I view those guys. In terms of the apes, if you will, as I see that community, and again, I filmed something in Portland last week with the Mulligan brothers, and this thing's coming out.
There's over 500 people in this right now.
And I understand that part, but the thing about it is like you said, the CEOs.
Another 500 in this YouTube stream.
Hello.
I don't know what happened, Mark. Mark, go ahead and answer that.
So I think the focus needs to simply be, Senator Warren, I lost $19,000 the day the one-way trading occurred. I was up $29,000 prior to that and lost the rest of my money the next week and a half. Everyone, and I speak for 1.7 million people, need to know exactly what went on behind the decision to make the one-way trading stop. We're very uncomfortable with the CNBC appearance by Vlad, who said they don't have a margin problem. Then they did have a margin problem. We're very upset that Ken Griffin,
$2 billion worth,
who's Robinhood's largest revenue stream with payment for flow, invested in a hedge fund called Melvin, which was going out of business and had the other sides of our trade. And this is A
got my hand up,
through
Richie.
ZZ.
Trying to get a question,
written
but
by a lawyer,
there's a long line.
presented by lobbyists.
Understandably so.
So there are facts, there's a real complaint, and there's real wrongdoing. Then, in my mind, you got a shot. You have a shot of someone saying 1.6 million people were completely screwed. They got screwed here. It can happen again. There's been no answers. People are resisting subpoenas. That's, in my opinion, and this is all my opinion, so no one try to come down on me on defamation or any bullshit like that. I'm entitled to my opinion. That, I think, gives the community a shot. Everything else, I think, is a waste of time.
Great. Our next, Mark, it's been about an hour. I got 2 more questions queued up. Do you have time for 2 more questions?
I can go 15 minutes more, then I got something else cooking. So whoever wants to ask, say it now or forever hold your peace.
Awesome. We got 1,500 people in this space, by the way. LSF, go ahead with your question.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me up. I've been seeing some of these like technical terms tossed around, like the naked short ladder, and to a lesser extent, sometimes people say like bond melting. And I was wondering if you could just explain these, like the process as you would to a layperson, just so we don't take these for granted, because I haven't really seen super clear explanations of like how this market manipulation is operating.
Well, that's a really good question. And some people have asked me that. And I don't know what the hell those terms mean. And I view myself as a very sophisticated guy. There's market manipulation that goes on, but it goes on a completely different and more dangerous level than that. And if you don't, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into conspiracy theories with the shorting ladder or this, that, and the other. It's follow the money and who said what, when, where, and how, and track the truth and the lies. That's where you can go. All this other stuff is just designed to get you very confused. And when you're confused, you make no sense. And when you make no sense, people don't pay attention to you. So you need it specific, and everyone needs to get the story down so the 8th, 9th, 10th graders can understand.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
Janet Yellen confirms a lot.
Scenario, both for PM forward.
I know there was no sound, guys. I was messing with my settings. I apologize for the delay.
Okay, those
I
are
had to turn
good
it down on
questions.
purpose.
There's a few of them in there. Quickly,
Good
I
old
hate
Janet
payment for
Yellen
order flow.
confirmed.
I don't like it at all. Orders should
Watch
be
this 1 second.
executed on the floor.
The question was
Payment for
on
order
hold
flow
in the
and
chat.
black box stuff allows people like Citadel to take the other side of any trade if they want to. It doesn't need, as you would say, to be executed on the floor. And let me make this real simple, and I'm not accusing anyone of anything. If I was a bookie, and this is before gambling was legal with all these outfits, and my customer base, I had 5 gamblers who lost 90% of the time, the way Robinhood accounts do, I wouldn't take the bets to my boss. I would just take the other side of the bet. I would say this gambler is wrong 90% of the time. This poor bastard bets on the Oakland Raiders. They're losers. I'm just going to take the other side, because 90% of the time, these traders and these trades lose. So I think everything should be executed. I think it makes it more competitive. I think it makes it fair. I think it means it makes sense. And there's no questions to be asked. What could Robinhood have done differently? They didn't need to spend their money on Super Bowl ads. They didn't need to spend money trying to, with all their stuff about how do you run ads saying we want to make the stock market more democratic to get first time people in and we'll let you trade for free. We have no controls. We have no risk controls. We have no capital controls. We don't know where we are on margin on any given minute, hour, or day. We then get on TV and say, we're fine. when 10 hours later we owe $3 billion, that guy should be fired on the spot. Whoever was running Robinhood should be gone. I mean, if this shit happened 10 years ago, the place would be seized. And there's email traffic that says we're too big to fail, which is another problem. No one should be too big to fail. If you fail, you should fail. If Joe Sixpack fails, you go bankrupt and no one gives a shit about you, right? No one gives a crap. If your family's hungry and you go rob a 7-Eleven and you steal 5 pizzas, 2 6-packs of Coke, some candy, and they arrest you, they'll put you in prison. But they can cost you $5 billion of your hard-earned money, and they keep their job, they get a bonus, and their stock goes public. It is just fucked up. So what should change is anyone responsible at Robinhood or who ran the place should lose their job instantly. And the government, whether it's the SEC or the DOJ or whoever have you, should come down on these clowns so damn hard, right? Their heads get caved in. That's what should happen, because then it wouldn't happen again. Or at least you'd have a comfort that it won't happen again. And I'm here to tell you, unless there's changes, it will happen again. And I don't need to be proven right if the system's a mess. And I don't need to be proven right if 1 million people lose all their money. That would make me sick to my stomach. I mean, the time to fix things that are
This
broken
is why we got to make
is
changes
when the
right
market's
now.
at an all-time high and everyone's all happy and everything's great. Not when things are fucked up. And,
We need changes.
And again,
Time.
right? I fought the fight with this MIMEDX. There's an 81-year-old guy who bribed a senator to get the FBI to come to my house and told me to shut
awesome.
the fuck up. And I didn't. And when that true story comes out, and it will come out one day, it will make people's hair fall out. And if I can endure that crap, you Robinhood guys can all get together and fight a little harder. Because I'm telling you, the fight is goddamn mighty here. It is mighty.
Fair enough, Mark. You're always fighting for the underdog. We got 3 final questions to end this Twitter Spaces. First, we're going to go to Lily, then we're going to go to Nick, and then we're going to end with Unusual Whales. Lily, come up and ask your question.
Hi, Mark. Just quickly, I want to point out that I think the senator in
I think Edwin doesn't want me to talk.
Toomey.
That's the fellow.
What's the matter,
Also,
Edwin? I've been shouting out your channel this whole
Robinhood
time, man.
and the marketing
bullshit.
that they do. How
Bullshit.
is that full disclosure in marketing? Aren't there SEC rules that prohibit saying something's free when it literally is not? The SEC has so many different ways to get to these guys. They're just doing nothing. And then
Edwin doesn't like that my name is Boss
point I wanted
Blunts.
to make or ask about is this more or less the same issue as that was brought about in the book Flash Boys by Michael Lewis about high frequency trading and dark pools and paying for order flow? Because that's the big question for me, because those people, Michael Lewis has a lot of clout, and nothing happened after the publication of Flash Boys. It wasn't, they were tried. Actually, they went on I don't know which Cartoon Network, and they were tried. I think they tried to touch them up. If I don't recall incorrectly, I think it was Brad Katsuyama.
Well, you asked some good questions there, and it really gets back to a test of will. If you write a book and you go on a book tour and you talk about it for a month, and then you drop it, no one gives a shit. And paint the thing, spray paint black stripes on it, and I can call it a zebra. It's still a fucking white horse, right? It's all the same kind of deal, and it's all done for these fast guys to make money at the expense of others. And Toomey is important because Toomey and Sherrod Brown both have to agree before there's subpoenas that fly around. So that's why, if you're from Pennsylvania, you should push Toomey hard. If you're from Ohio, you push Sherrod Brown hard. You got to push these guys hard. And again, the problem is you can't give up, and you have to figure out the message that's going to play. And it's all designed. I mean, I had breakfast with a guy, and Edwin, it may go a touch longer, a guy in Portland. He reached out to me because he knew I was there doing the filming. And he said, I really want to meet you, blah, 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 blah. And I said, how do I know you're not going to kill me? And he says, I won't. You can check me out. And I said, I'm busy with these guys. But if you can meet me if you want to drive into town, which I think is 3 hours, I'll have breakfast with you. And I met him. And I said, I just wanted to meet you just to hear how you do things and how you work and how you think. And he got caught up and he lost a lot of money in that Robinhood thing, but it caused him to think that he better think for himself. And he came up with his own ideas. And I was really impressed with the guy. And people can figure this out. They can get to the bottom of this mess if you just don't give up, think things through. And if you feel you're cheated, raise your hand. Because I think the individual, I don't mean to sound like that. I think people, if they can think for themselves and say, this makes sense, I think they got a better chance than these dope ass institutions. I mean, Plotkin, I know him and he's a nice enough guy, right? But he is not a guy I would give a dime to. He's just not. I'd
Cheers,
rather
everybody.
give
It's a great day
money to my
all
buddy
around.
who I met in
Good
Portland,
life.
who's
Good day to
long
be alive.
uranium,
Good day on the
coal,
stock
and
market
gas,
for
because
at least
he
for
said
us.
if the economy
I don't
was
know about
going to come
everybody
back,
else.
people need energy. And the guy's up 60% this year. So, you never know who I'll talk to, who I'll run into, what I have to say. But, I'm trying hard for everybody. I'll tell you that.
Awesome,
ahead, Ed.
Mark. We got 2 final questions to end this space. Next question's from Nick. Last question from Unusual Whales.
Let's
Nick,
go,
ahead.
Unusual
Awesome. Thanks a
Whales.
lot, Edwin and Mark. Thanks so much for all your time.
Cheers.
And, education and information that you're sharing. I think your experience is much needed, and your passion and all the stuff you've done throughout your life is inspiring, frankly. So my question is, and I want to go back to the $3 billion that was given to our friends over there with more money than brains, as you put.
Yeah.
If you, let's assume that you were the all powerful Sith and you had your hands in sort of every corner of this market, and you were sideways, as you put, in all of these meme stocks, and upwards of over 100% of the float short some of these names that went up to 300%. What would you have done with that $3 billion? And are you able to speculate at all at what you think might have been done to try to clean up the mess? And to take that a step further, do you think there's any chance that it's not all the way cleaned up?
Those are really good questions. The ultimate problem and what's going to cause the mess is the excessive leverage in the system. The leverage needs to be drained out. The government took rates down so people could loan money to do things, expand their business, grow, things like that. They didn't give people money for stock speculation. So leverage needs to be taken out. If too many people were short, they should have covered at whatever price, lose. If they would have gone out of business, that's what markets are about. And things should have been allowed to pass through rather than the government play the role of God and screw Joe Sixpack to the benefit of Ken Griffin and those guys. I mean, flat out, Melvin should have gone out of business. Flat out, Melvin and people who had his trade should have gone out of business. That would have been a lesson in what goes on. Instead of screwing the average guy, if you made a bad trade, you lose money, you pay the consequences. You either play again or you learn your lesson. That's life.
For sure.
I mean, life's not perfect. People.
Space call is cutting out a little bit, so I'm not sure what the delay on the sound is there. So I apologize for that. But this guy, Mark Cohodes,
and
they're back. He's
I
been
just
great
feel
so far.
bad for the people who got screwed, and I hope there's change. I
Real
really
quick,
do.
I'm going to squeeze one more in before I jump.
Yeah, man.
And
We all
that
remember.
is, are you
I remember
familiar at all with,
2008,
what's
2000.
going on,
A lot of people remember.
on the Superstar community
We
with
were all
people trying to
affected.
organize this direct registration of shares?
I think it's a complete
You think
waste
it's a waste of time? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Registration of shares through a computer share is a
because you
complete
think
waste
that,
of fucking time.
they'll kick this can down the road as long as humanly possible if something legally isn't done?
I mean, look. If those folks are listening to me, look. If the market maker wants to short the stock without a borrow, they can do so legally until the cows come home and roll this, and it's perfectly legal.
Absolutely.
If you want to
They
spend
can.
your time, organize, get the right, look, it is no surprise to anyone.
That's why it's
I'm
time
a
for a new
fan of
market
the Oakland
maker.
Raiders, who
One who's
happen
not
to be playing
manipulating the
every
market all
now
the
and
time,
then in
but
Las
this
Vegas.
is all just
But they're
speculation.
still the Oakland Raiders. It is very simple. It is cut and run. You come up with your best ideas, you find the best hole, you cut, and you go. All this naked shorting, hypothecating shares, re-register, this and the other, it's a waste of
waste
time.
of fucking time.
Don't hate me for it, but it's a waste.
Yeah, appreciate
Warren,
the honesty.
Elizabeth Warren, and I sure don't speak for anybody, they don't care about that stuff. They care about the man stealing money from Joe Sixpack. That is a political issue that they care about. I don't want to, that's my opinion. I don't need to get sued or hassled or anyone.
No, I got you.
But they care about the real guy, right, taking money from the other guy. That's real.
Yep.
Re-registering shares, who the hell cares?
Awesome. Last question of the spaces will come from Unusual Whales. Go ahead and ask the question. I really enjoyed this so far, so thanks everybody for listening. Go ahead, Unusual Whales, with the last question.
Hey guys, big fans, early subscriber to Edwin, recommended. Big fan of Mark as well. Yeah, I noticed like Toomey was mentioned a few times. He's kind of like a pretty cool trader himself, and obviously elected official for quite some time. Kind of like just backstory, quick history. His son on like January 26th
That's right,
bought like $15K worth of GME. They still haven't sold it. Toomey himself also is like an incredibly good Tesla trader, and he also holds some crypto. So context, I suppose, is important here. Mark, I have two questions for you. Kind of. The first is like, do you want to see like a big second like congressional hearing? Do you think that's even necessary, or is it like just the court of public opinion will just get so loud? I mean, this is why this space is happening, from like a legal battle, and now the court of public opinion is making it possible. Do you think that's necessary? And my second question is kind of like, you mentioned the SEC a few times, and Gary Gensler has been kind of going on a speaking tour. Some people say no action, just a lot of talk. But given the high rate of like dark pool trading and a lot of meme names like GME and AMC, do you want to see the SEC uncover anything there, or do you feel it's unimportant? Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about wash sales. How come nobody could ask about the short letter attacks and the wash sales? Jesus.
Court of public opinion, it's where it's going to have to start. And if it gets loud and you have an election coming up, they're going to pay attention. I think there are some very smart data-centric people out there who can mine the internet, and they've come up with some great stuff lately. There's a movie I'm in. It's coming out next week. Sam Black is the director. It's coming out on Vice. I think that's the start of, that'll care greatly. Politicians need. I think he sounds clever. Someone needs to do something, and someone needs to do something fast. I mean, it's been too long. People are upset. When you get no action, the market's a confidence game, and consumers are paying more for everything. rates will probably go up. I don't know. Someone, if you're paid, elected, and supposed to do a job, to me, you need to do your job. And I think if everyone did their job, whether you're in the Senate, whether you work at the SEC, whether you're in enforcement, whether you're compliance or risk controls at Robinhood, you need to do your job, because playing with other people's money is a very important responsibility, and they're not taking that responsibility seriously. And I just want everyone to know, Edwin and I go back to when he was a freshman.
Space call's cutting out a little bit.
At
There we go.
Stanford, the guy works his ass off, cares about people, and he cares about the issues, and he's not paid. I'm not paid. I don't care to be paid, but I think it's important to spread the word, and I think it's important that
Pam.
people
Thanks,
think for
everybody.
themselves, and they think
Appreciate you.
clearly, and they understand that, you don't have to like me. You can hate me. You can have whatever opinion you want, but everyone's entitled to an opinion. Everyone just needs to get their facts straight. And if you get your facts straight, and you try hard and you try to figure it out, everything I think will get much, much, much better. Because right now it's an absolute mess. So,
Well, Mark, this has been absolutely incredible. We have 1,800 people.
Oh yeah, it's been great. Would have been nice to be able to ask about wash sales and short attacks and other things like that, but I understand if I couldn't get to speak this time. Next time I'll speak to Mark directly.
Where I try to expose corporate misconduct as well. At the top of this space are a bunch of pinned tweets that include some of the source documents. The first pinned tweet has a link to the recent lawsuit against Citadel et al. That's really interesting to read. So I encourage people to check that out. And I just want to say thank you to
that was a good space call.
in. Mark, I think
that's why I love these things. They're a lot of fun to be a part of, a lot of fun to listen to. Would have been.
Instance, the San Diego Chargers. I really do. Raiders have San Diego's old defensive coordinator. I think that's going to be the story. The Raider defense is going to show up, and I think the Raiders are going 4-0, and I'm getting excited about football I'm getting excited about football in Vegas, who has my team.
Look forward to crypto and stock trading on Lit Exchange.
How's that? I'm gonna throw everyone. I'm going to throw everyone off. I'm going to go a little Raider
education.
And just
about
remember,
the stock
folks,
market and crypto,
the autumn wind is a pirate.
100%.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Special thanks to Mark. We're done with this space. I'll leave it up for the 30 more seconds so people can follow Mark.
Edwin Dorsey.
And me.
Thanks to Edwin Dorsey for hosting this space.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you very much, Edwin Dorsey, for hosting the space. It's too bad I wasn't able to speak with him, but again, I made an effort. I had my hand up the whole time, but there was a lot of people waiting. Thankfully, we got some great speakers in there, like Tara Bull, Unusual Bears, Rogue Listener, and others. But we've got some fantastic minds in here. There was almost 2,000, around 1,800 people in this space call at one point, and people coming and going the whole time, as well as almost 500 plus viewers over here on YouTube. And this is going to be up so that people can come back and catch the space call, because I had no idea it was happening. If I had, I would have reached out to Edwin directly prior to this and discussed it more in depth. But I think that there's only one thing that really needs to be said, and that's this.
I want my fucking money.
Yeah, pretty much. I want my fucking money, Ken Griffin. These stocks are going to fly, I think. Today was a great day on the stock market. AMC was up almost 18%. Thanks everybody for your support. George, Christopher, Frosty, Pam, everybody, Margaret, everybody who donated and supports the channel, who subscribes. Please share. Please like it. If you think there's any good information out there, feel free to leave a comment. A lot of people enjoy leaving comments, especially if you leave a timestamp with your favorite part of the video. If you could do that, leave a timestamp at what your favorite part of the video was, or the space call, and that way maybe people can come back and click it, and it'll forward them directly to that portion of it. So thanks again, everybody, for being here with us today. Tomorrow, October 1st, we have Phase 5 margin requirements. Trey Thompson asked, could we speak on the margin requirements for tomorrow? Tomorrow, all banks need to have $1 trillion and stress test for it. Let's hear old Yeller.
The possibility, there are issues relating to hedge funds and the possibility of leverage there that can trigger financial run. There are issues relating to hedge funds and the possibility
of leverage there
triggering
financial runs.
Topic. And
what do you think she's talking about?
Relating to hedge funds.
I'll leave you with that.
And
Janet Yellen is telling us that over-leveraging from hedge funds is going to lead to financial runs. What did we see on AMC today? It was up almost 18% and then got shorted.
Topic. And there are issues relating to
have a great day, everybody. See you later on tonight, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going to have a space call. So that should be a lot of fun. It's going to be related to some interesting information, including the debt ceiling, among others. Okay.
And the possibility of
financial
runs that can trigger financial runs. That's another topic. And there are issues relating to hedge funds and the possibility of leverage there that can trigger financial runs. That's another topic. And there are issues.
Peace and wealth, everybody.
Hedge funds and the possibility of leverage there that can trigger